Okay. All right. So well, this class is gonna cover trading psychology mainly, raising the frequency of the body. It's basically battling against mental and physical fatigue, as I said in the group. But at first, I just want to go over the 3 trades that I took this week. 2 were good, one I broke even. This is one I took today. CHF yen actually did my signature today. As you see, I don't really have a favorite pair, I just look for a particular behavior. And once I see that, a trade against the trend aggressively with the 13 and 50, which is the 50 and 200 cross, I then wait for the first stop hunt after that break. Because this tells me that sellers are trapped, which does set the peak formation. This is the retail trend. And as you see, Dylan's strategy is they come back, they hit that low, don't break this low, and they move off of it. And when they break the trend line and the moving averages cross, you can see that higher level longs were stop on it that took the retest to the 13-day EMA. This is how it looks on the 15-minute chart. W formation, stop hunt and trap right to the 200. I got in long and took out right at the blueberry. So that was the trade I took on CHF yen. Again, I'm someone, I wait for an aggressive move against the retail trend. I do not take peaks. I wait for a trend shift and wait for the EMAs to cross. So I sent this in the group. This was what I took on Christmas Eve. It's the same thing. It was an uptrend. This is the 4-hour. It finally broke it. 13 and 50 cross, 15, 200. First stop hunt and trap. And then I shorted it right here. This looks like a W while it was live, trapping longs. When I saw this red candlestick against it, I went short, and that, you see, notice the trades look similar. So this was when I broke even in. It was an uptrend line, broke the trend line. This looked good at the time. Still was a good trade in line with my strategy. It came down. I actually tried to catch 80 pips on this, but it came up and, when I got like 30 pips in profit, I adjusted my stop to break even and I broke even on that trade. So those are the 3 trades that I took, the traps of the week for me. But let me get into the presentation. Oh my God. All right, so we're going to go over trading psychology, but we're going to add a little more of a deep science, as to how to actually raise the frequency of the body in your mind and the principality to success in every aspect of life, every skill set is really the understanding. Where I start from is the understanding of nerve energy. And what you want to do is you want to kind of mold your life or your habits to where you conserve nerve energy or nerve force. And nerve energy is powerhouse within the brain. It's the energy that's the central nervous system. Everything you do revolves around your nerve energy. So as I have here, you could see right here is the powerhouse, the cerebrum, which is like, think of it like the power company, and moving down here like power lines being distributed, all of the life force being distributed to your body. And I'm going to read, when your nerve cells are full of stored nerve energy, the nerve reservoirs are at their greatest height. You are then fully alive with physical and mental energy. No task seems too great, no strain too severe. You crave a means of letting off steam. You crave challenges. It is then that you become a human dynamo. You have double the energy and vitality of the average person, and you never know what it is to be fatigued. You have so much nerve force in your reservoir that you are absolutely tireless. Nerve force works miracles for you. When your nerve force becomes depleted, you feel mentally, emotionally, and physically fatigued. You try to fight your fatigue with unhealthy stimulants such as sugar sweets, tea, coffee, alcohol, pep pills, and other drugs, further depleting your nerves and leading you towards total nerve exhaustion. One of the main things that people fight, it's really themselves. It's the war within you. And you have to learn how to battle or overcome mental laziness. And you got to think about it too. Forex in itself is very challenging because the markets reflect to you who you are. And they could also reveal, the market cannot, any financial market or any type of trading reveals to you your inner demons that you must overcome. Nerve force, getting back to nerve force, is the source of all life. Life flows through your nerves. Please never forget that. When you are fully supplied with nerve force, you're more enthusiastic and happy. You feel fit and ambitious for life. You overcome all difficulties and you are ready to accept every challenge that life offers. In fact, you welcome challenges of all kinds. You cannot defeat a person with powerful nerve force. That person will rise up for a new start again and again, no matter how often they may fail. And in the end, they win. 5% of humanity take the lead over and above the other 95%. And it is nerve force that is the source of their success. So when you connect it, they say over 95% of traders don't make it. And a part of it is because of psychology. But psychology, you will start to see when you learn a lifestyle on how to conserve your nerve energy, which I have the steps, then psychology, physical management, or no, psychological management, emotional management, money management, all kind of come together. But this is the root of it all: conservation of nerve energy. So there's two different types of lifestyles that you have. You have habits that are energy robbers, that tax the nervous system. And then you have a lifestyle that is of energy enhancers. And as you see, nerve energy robbers versus enhancers, looking to the right, we have number one on cleanliness, both on external and on the level of bodily tissues and fluids. When your biological terrain is acidic, you know, you have a pH level, alkaline and acidic, the body is slightly alkaline. However, in a natural state. But we tend to eat things, especially cooked food, cadavers, which we think of as meat. And these stimulants, what we believe to be nutrition, tax the body. For example, when you eat cooked food, you cook the vital enzymes and nutrients out of the food, the essence out of the food. And when you introduce it into the body sees it as an attack. So then the body has to use its own enzymes and life force and biophotons to then digest the food because it has no water in it. That's why when you eat something, when you become dehydrated, that shows that you poison yourself and the body had to use its own vital fluids to actually digest that material. So when we look here, number one is uncleanliness, 2, unclean air, 3, impure water, 4, inadequate rest and sleep, 5, the standard American diet, 6, inadequate sunlight and natural light, 7, abnormal temperatures, 8, lack of regular exercise, 9, emotional unbalance and slavery to addictions with low self-esteem and a purposeless life without meaningful goals, 10, toxic relationships. So these 10 habits, along with, I guess, other ones in detail, they leak you of your vital life force. And you need to harness this vital life force to take full control of your life on another level. Now to the left, we have cleanliness, both on external and on a level of bodily tissues and fluids, keeping the pH, the biological terrain, which is very important to understand, you know. 2, pure air. 3, pure water. 4, adequate rest and sleep. 5, the ideal diet. Whatever that means to you, I am not saying that you have to change your life drastically to be good at Forex, you know, but there is, even if you eat meat, eat dairy, eat whatever it is, I'm vegan, but even if you eat meat and dairy, there are ways that you could actually make that more healthy, you know. We have right temperature, regular exercise, adequate sunshine, emotional balance, and freedom from addictions, with high self-esteem and a purposeful life with meaningful goals. 10, nurturing relationships. So living in a certain way, you start to conserve the life force within you. And this battles against fatigue. You also sleep less. So you're able to get up for London session. You're able to, have much more of a mental framework, and you decode more of the market to your level of understanding. See, that's what you want to do. Everything you learn from Forexia Live or any other teacher in your life, you want to convert it into your own understanding. And knowing how to conserve the nerve energy that your body produces is one of the main steps. So the number one thing that depletes the body of nerve energy, which is your spiritual energy in a sense, is the improper digestion of food. Digestion in itself takes away about 70% of your nerve energy. And for example, when you eat something heavy, you get niggeritis, you get sleepy. A lot of the blood that would have been in your brain is now sitting in your gut. It's now working to digest that food. So I'm not telling you to be this extreme vegan or fruitarian or, you know, pescatarian. It's your choice, okay? It's your life. Pick the diet that suits you, that you believe in. However, there are enzymic limitations. So this is a food combining chart. You could just type it in Google. And what it shows you is, for one, proteins and starches do not mix together. I'm from the island, and a lot of people eat rice and peas and rice with fish, peas and rice with, chicken. But the problem is when you eat starch, it digests in your mouth. There's an enzyme called ptyalin, and the salivary glands, you're basically supposed to masticate the starch so that it could be properly digested. Now, but when you mix meat with starch, then it causes a enzyme conflict, because meat is digested by pepsin and is digested in the stomach. Meat is digested more, is from an acid, where starches are digested more alkaline based. So when you mix these two together, you have a problem where if you eat meat, then you can't properly digest, secrete the ptyalin in your mouth to break down the starches. So then both of them kind of sit undigested in the colon, you know, and this is what further causes a depletion of nerve force, because then the body has to secrete mucus and contain the poisons within you, further taxing the life force energy that you could have used more for a higher purpose, you know, more, it could have been more in your brain, in your mind, rather than sitting in your colon or areas of your body where it had to store away toxins. So the problem is, when the body cannot get rid of toxins, it can't eliminate it, meaning you eat 3 times a day. You eat too much. You know, you shouldn't eat a lot every day. No animal in the wild eats every single day. So fasting is something that you should look into for mental clarity. You should always give your body a break. I do suggest at least 1 day out the week, you know, where you fast, or do intermittent fasting, where you don't eat too early or too heavy, you know, because it's not just what you eat, it's how you eat. And what this chart shows you is that it shows you how to eat scientifically based on enzymes. You know, as you see, proteins go good with veggies, veggies go good with starches. And it has the acid fruits, the subacid, they go good together. And you see, it says, okay, this is fair. It has the combinations down here. There is a book that I did put at the end as a source that does help with enzyme limitations. So when you eat, you actually eat more scientific in a sense, but it's to conserve your powers, so to say, you know? So like I said, not eating properly, you have this undigested material in you, especially eating heavy meat. You should not eat meat late in the day. It should be eaten at noon because it takes time to digest. Even eating dinner, when you break down the meaning of dinner from, I think the root word for in Latin, it means to eat very light or light snack. Same thing with breakfast. So try not to eat too heavy after 7 o'clock p.m. This does help too with when you have to wake up for London session. If you trade London session, you don't wake up fatigued and you cannot properly look at the market, or at least with your full focus. So try not to eat too heavy. The colon is also actually the second brain. This is where you get your gut feeling. When your colon is clean and healthy, you get more intuition, actually, because you know what they say, I have that gut feeling. It's more intuition that comes to you. And I do live this, by the way, and me decoding the market, it really helped when I would fast and properly hydrate myself. So, and when I would wake up, go to bed at a certain time, it's religious because I treat it as a business. There are certain habits that leak into every area of your life. So the market, you do need self-discipline, but that also means you need self-discipline in other areas of your life, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So what I have here, the stomach is the seat of all feeling, all thought, emotion, and action. Polluting the gut not only cripples your immune system, but also destroys your sense of empathy. 1 second, let me tell this person. No. Forexia. Okay, so it cripples your mind, mood, behavior, and the ability to identify with other humans, animals, and all life around you. You are a living body of energy, a living network of cells. Let's go to the next. So we went over, okay, the number one thing, okay, is improper digestion. That's when you kind of get over that demon, because that's what they kind of are. They're like thoughts, and they're parts of you that deplete yourself of the necessary energy to do better in life. So what I want to show is there are actual habits where you could actually increase on nerve energy, such as what I have here, breath work. And you can see I have the picture in the back. When you're breathing in, you're not just breathing in oxygen and nitrogen, you're actually breathing in a thing that they call prana, almost like cosmic energy. It's what's behind the life force that fuels everything in life. The breath. For the breath, even in esoteric circles, the breath is the spirit. So breath work is spirit work. Breath work is energy work. So breath is the prime detoxification channel. More toxins are released through the breath than by any other means. And meaning basically when the liver, the blood flows, and when the blood comes in contact with the lungs, you have one side of the chamber of the heart, right, where it shoots up and comes in contact with the fresh air. That's the polluted blood in you. And when it comes in contact with the fresh air, when you exhale out all these impurities out of the blood. And when it comes back in on the other side of the chamber of the heart, that's when you have more clean blood, rich blood. The number one way to enrich and oxygenate and increase the harmonics of your blood is through breath work, conscious breath work, which is meditation. Meditation is not just sitting down, being quiet. Meditation is energy work, breath work. So like I said here, or I got this quote from a very in tune brother, not only that, but when we optimize breathing function, it nourishes every cell, muscle, organ, and tissue with high oxygen value and fresher blood supplies, lots of energy for all parts of the human body, and enhances the function of all the other secondary detoxification channels of the liver, the skin, the colon, pancreas, spleen, etc. Breath work is a mastery worthy of study. And as you see here, you could type in Wim Hof. That's a type of breathing exercise on YouTube. This is, I actually don't even know this one, but Tokyo breath hold. I just type it in. I do a different breathing exercise. I do have videos of how to do these exercises that do raise the frequency of the body. Also, pranayama is good. Breath of fire. You take in deep breaths. And also there's a rhythmic breathing. And it really enriches the blood, detoxifies the blood. And also there's a certain exercise where I breathe in heavily and I exhale out vigorously. And I hold on the exhale. And what this does is this retrains the body of how to work more efficiently with less oxygen. So it uses less life force, but it learns how to use it more efficiently, and more blood rises to your brain. You think more clear, you are more aware of your emotions. It's literally, it makes every area of your life better, you know? So you have yoga, exercise, meditation, sun gazing. That's another thing too. You could gaze at the sun. If you start off only 30 seconds, first at sunrise and sunset, but you have to be grounded in the sun or in soil. You know, slowing the breath down, and breath work will be the key for diseases, mitigation, and body enhancement amplification as we transition to higher vibrations. All right. Going forward, vital nerve energy, which is prana. So the very prana, life force in the air, as it condenses in the body, it is your nerve energy. So life force that further condenses from the aerial elements inside the body, the function of it in the body is the nervous system. So vital nerve energy, which is prana, condensed and expressed as the cellular intelligence in the human body. Just about everybody we meet has a depletion of nerve energy due to the habits of overstimulation. The central nervous system is exhausted. You don't hear with your ears, see with your eyes, taste with your tongue, smell with your nose. The brain decodes these impressions. The nerve energy converts everything into a discernible stimulant. The alchemist, or true spiritualist, learns the methods and practices of conservation and restoration of nerve energy. The breath work, fasting, and meditation in complete darkness, especially. Complete darkness allows for the building of nerve energy, which is an expression of prana as function. Think about it. If you have visualizations and thoughts after a deep meditation in darkness, the nerve energy only has your thoughts and visualizations to convert and feed on. So what I'm saying is, anytime you hear a sound, you eat some food, you smell something, or even on Facebook, reading a book, you know, your nervous system is working to convert that into that taste, into that sound. So when you sit in complete darkness with no sound, no, you're not eating, obviously, right? You're not, the four senses now are more internal. And your thoughts are now picked up on another level, because every time you think, you create an atom. Every time you think, when you close your eyes and you sit in darkness and you do the breath work, you're building on prana. And now the prana isn't feeding on external devices. It's feeding more on your thoughts. Because every time you think, remember, there's something that's listening. There's a universal intelligence listening to you. So next, for conserving nerve energy, this is especially for men, it's semen retention. Every time you ejaculate, you lose vital brain fluids because the sperm comes from your brain. It's secreted from your cerebrum and it falls down your spinal column, and then it's converted into sperm because sperm was cerebral spinal fluid. From this book, which I suggest you get and you read, it says, The Perfect Matrimony, man loses 6 or 7 million spermatozoa in a seminal ejaculation. However, only one infinitesimal spermatozoon is needed to engender a child. It is absurd to spill 6 or 7 million spermatozoa when only one is needed to create. One single spermatozoon escapes easily from the sexual glands without the need to spill the semen. Now, there's a book called, what is it? The Multi-Orgasmic Man. That teaches you, if you have if you're in a marriage or if you're in a relationship, it teaches you tactics of how to do tantric sex. And even at the point of ejaculation, you could actually pull down on your balls, because when you're about to ejaculate, your balls kind of sucked up on you. When you pull it down, it gives you a chance to actually hold it in, it buys you more time. So even there are tactics, even with making love, you could actually stop ejaculating all of your vital essence. And then with the breath work, you could start to bring it back up to your brain. But this is a way to keep the circle of flow of energy in you. The circle. If you ever look at that spiritual symbol, that occult symbol where the snake is eating its own tail, that represents not breaking the loop within you. When you ejaculate, you break a circle or loop. Every month, there's a cerebral seed that's created within you. So looking to the right here, some of the many benefits: physical, increased energy, drive, boosted immune system, cures erectile dysfunction, prevents premature ejaculation. Mental, more confidence, improved memory, more decisive. Spiritual, calmer, less prone to anger, more connected to spiritual nature, control over material urges. And this will help with losses. When you have consecutive losses in the market because of some shit you did, it helps you to bounce back from it, speaking from experience. So these are the many benefits of semen retention. You have the whole internet to see it. You could see from more energy, you less depressed. And it's even deeper, my brothers, because when you do semen retention, the body thinks that you cannot attract a mate. So it starts to even make you more attractive. It deepens your voice. When you work out, the semen then goes to areas of the body to start rebuilding. And it makes you more, you get more of a boost in testosterone. And it's a big, big difference. Most people, you don't even know what it means to be truly a masculine man until you went a couple months holding in your seed, So it's every area of your life. It changes you, every area. So next, we're going to go into proper hydration. This is not what a lot of people talk about, but this is what I've come to know to be true. And everything I'm doing, I've applied to my life. It's not just me gathering stuff from a book. This is what has helped me in every area. So proper hydration is key. Now, the problem is a lot of people do not understand what water is. We have this notion as if water is H2O. That's not the water that biological processes and organisms, the cells do not necessarily use that water. Like I have here, 99% of the body cells is made of water, and this water is not H2O. The body is H3O2, 3 hydrogen atoms, 2 oxygen atoms. It takes time for the body to restructure the H2O you put in into H3O2 so the cells can absorb it and hydrate you. So the body has to restructure the water that you put in. in order for the cells to hydrate itself. Structured water, which is crystallized water, like liquid crystals. Remember, they tell you water holds memory and crystals hold memory. Water that can hydrate you faster. So structured water, crystallized water, water that can hydrate you faster, causes faster because that's what the cells contain. True water is structured water, and structured water has a hexagonal molecular structure. And when you ever look at a snowflake, you notice a snowflake naturally forms into a hexagonal structure, like in nature. But when they look at the molecules in a microscope, this structured water in a molecular sense is hexagonal. And structured water is water molecularly arranged in a fine crystalline pattern. As it is a crystal, it acts as a carrier. The small hexagonal arrangement pattern makes it fit into biological reactions in nature. And urine is composed of structured water, and it improves all enzymic activity in the body. Another book, Colloidal Biology. This is like the quantum physics to biology. I highly suggest you look into Dr. David Jubb. A lot of the science is gonna basically, they can say it hasn't been proven, but probably in the next 10 to 20 years, you would start to see them coming out with it, because a lot of the science that these scientists come out with, metaphysicians and occultists have been knowing for decades. All right, so I'm just preparing you for the new scientific studies that are coming out. This was also featured on TED Talk too, H302, so. All right, so let's see. That was so far we 30 minutes in. Hey, family, this is Zach. He wasn't able to send me the Zoom Pro. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send in another link, and then me and Dylan are just kind of gonna put these two classes together. I'm not done, of course. So I'm gonna stop it and then resend in another link. Okay. So just hop right back in. Okay. So you see my screen, right? All right. So anyway, going back to, like I was saying, structured water is actually H3O2. That's what hydrates the cell. The reason I'm showing you this is because when you properly know how to hydrate your body on another level, it helps with mental clarity. A lot of times, trade in psychology, you have to look at your body as a plant. You can't just say things, oh, well, I'm going to do better this week, or I'm going to say these affirmations. You have to do better. You have to know how to nurture your vessel. It's like a plant. When a farmer grows a lettuce and the lettuce doesn't come out right, he doesn't kick the lettuce and say that, what's wrong with you, He looks at, maybe in the growing process, there was something missing, not enough soil, not rich soil, not enough sunlight, not enough water, whatever it is. So that's how you properly diagnose yourself, and in any area of your life. And since we are traders, we want to make sure that we are our highest self, especially in the mode of learning, because you're putting up your hard-earned money for this, you really are. So structured water versus unstructured. To the left is just unstructured water, regular water that people drink, To the right is the pattern, like a geometrical pattern as well, is the crystallized water that really gets into the cell. Because the cell, remember, is immortal. It's the water that becomes polluted within the cell, but the activity is immortal. So when you learn this, again, how to apply it, how to drink H3O2, they do have, you could look this up. It's a magnetic vortex magnetizer. You could look that up on YouTube. You could research a device known as Phi Aqua by Savan Bomar, and there's another one called Aqua Phi. I'm not sure if he came out with Phi Aqua, but it does the vortex energy as well to restructure your water into H3O2. However, I don't know how a lot of y'all will feel about this. The best H3O2 to drink is your morning urine. Look into urine therapy. Urine is not urine and feces are two different things. And when you basically, when the blood flows and it filters, or the liver filters the blood, it sends most of the toxins to the intestinal canal to be eliminated. Now the excess minerals, enzymes, antibodies, vitamins, all of the good stuff in the blood, but it's too much of it, is sent to the kidneys. Then the kidneys, which deal with regulating the constituents of the blood, you know. Hey, let me make sure I got y'all muted for a sec. Could you mute your mics? I guess I don't know how to, you know, to keep the flow going. So urine, again, let me start over. When the liver filters the blood, sends most of the toxins to the intestinal canal, the excess minerals, antibodies, vitamins, and all of the good stuff are passed on to the kidneys, and also the surplus of water. Now, the reason this happens is you have to keep the constituents of the blood in balance. Even too much of a good thing could be bad. So the kidneys allows us to overeat and overdrink. From the kidneys, it then passes it on to the bladder to be stored. Now the bladder is a storage place for vitamins. It's not waste. Urine is not toxic waste, as they teach, and this could be a little kind of a shock. You know what I mean? But it's okay. Now, even when you look at, even for men, your semen is in the same, goes through the same urinal tract as urine. Why would the body design something where it will constantly put out waste in the same canal that your semen in? Just food for thought. Just look into urine therapy. I do apply it. Just letting you know. You don't got to look at me like I'm weird, man. It's just science. Okay? I'm just showing you. If you don't want to get into urine therapy, there are other ways where you could get them, structure your own water. But the problem is urine contains antibodies. If you eat meat or any dairy, the antibodies are in your urine. So when you re-ingest it, you actually save the body energy. All right? And you may think, well, if it's so good, why does the body excrete it out? It doesn't excrete it out. It's just an overflow. As the church say, my cup runneth over. The bladder can only hold so much. It's like when you have a surplus of water over the dam, it tips over the dam. So when you eat and drink a lot, which we do way too much in Western civilization and around the world, the body has to overwork and create minerals, enzymes, especially eating cooked food that don't have any enzymes. It has to create these things. And then the excess it created, it then has to store it away. And notice, even sometimes when you do not urinate, it goes away because the body realized, oh, wait, I need some of that stuff. So it reabsorbs it out of the bladder. So this is just methods of consuming H3O2. You could do your further research. You don't have to take my word for it. Okay? Huh?
Nigga, I said methods on drinking piss.
Sorry, what you say? Something about drinking piss? You use a little staticky, you know. Like I say, it's just a suggestion. That's all it is. It's a bunch of research out there about it. But another thing you could do with your water is you could oxygenate your water with 35 food grade hydrogen peroxide. This is H2O2. And basically how to apply it. I'm going to read this. This is an excerpt from the book Human Body, the Human Body, the Owner's Operation Manual. Oxygenated water. It says, in a distant past, rainwater used to be highly oxygenated as the rain clouds would condense high in the temperature where the water vapor would interact with the unstable gas ozone, and small amounts of hydrogen peroxide would form. Today, however, the pollution in the atmosphere causes rain clouds to condense significantly lower where the water vapor can no longer come in contact with the ozone. Distilled water can be oxygenated by the addition of 35% food-grade hydrogen peroxide, but since the body has adapted to much lower levels, the hydrogen peroxide must be introduced gradually, starting with 3 drops in an 8-ounce glass of water 3 times a day and increasing daily until the maintenance dosage is reached. This was something that I had to do. When I worked, I used to work 8-10-hour days and have to wake up for London session. This gave me so much energy. This practice alone of oxygenating your water, you know, because what it does is it oxygenates the blood, and it helps to alkalize your biological terrain. And if your terrain is too acidic, the microorganisms or the microflora start to transmutate into parasites. They become self-serving, you know? So a lot of the original good bacteria actually had to adapt to the terrain of your body, you know? So again, if all of you could mute your own mics, I'm not too sure how to mute everyone, you know? Would appreciate it. So anyway, this is just a step-by-step process that I did myself, and I was able to have energy to wake up and also work a job if you have a job that you do as well, to be alert. Also, after a while, after the maintenance dosage is reached on day 16, the dosage is maintained for a week and then can be gradually tapered off to 25 drops once a day for a week, 25 drops once every other day. So as you do it, as you increase in the dosage, you do it less. The effect of adding hydrogen peroxide is to flood the body with oxygen. Healthy cells and friendly bacteria are what are known as aerobic, which means that they thrive in an oxygen-rich environment. Cancer cells and most harmful bacteria are anaerobic and cannot survive in an oxygenated environment. Hydrogen peroxide saturates the cells and tissues with oxygen and stimulates the body's enzymes to clear out toxins. According to Dr. Charles Farr, it is also triggers an increase in the metabolic rate, causes small arteries to dilate and increase blood flow, enhancing the body's distribution and consumption of oxygen and raising body temperature. So again, these are just tactics to help raise the frequency of your body to conserve your nerve force, you know, from the breath work to semen retention to consuming H3O2, whichever way you want to do it, to hydrate yourself. Another thing this book is a really interesting book, and you could find it online for free. It's a lot of people understand that you may have traumas within you, and these traumas can kind of inflict on your trading, you know? So this is a book that helps you to do exercises to release trapped emotions. And I also know breathing exercises that help you to go back to memories that you may have forgotten. And you get to look back from a neutral observer, you know, to dissect that very emotion. Because all imbalance and disease comes from thinking. It comes from the mind. Remember, the body is a converter. The body is a condenser. It condenses gases and aerial elements into crystals, discernible patterns for you to have an experience. And what I mean by that is, as you think, the thinking then induces an emotional response. That emotional response is a chemical messenger. And what is a chemical? A fluid. All right? It's a type of fluid in the body that's released by the brain. So this thought was condensed into a fluid, a chemical concoction, and this could change the nature of your cells. And there's certain emotions that may be contained and trapped in certain areas of your body. And because of the trauma, you may not even remember that this could be affecting your personal relationships. This could be affecting the fear you have with trading, a lot of the different areas of your life, you know? So it's to hack within yourself certain areas that you may not have known that still exist, that you have to go back within. So as an excerpt from the book, trapped emotions can cause you to make the wrong assumptions, overreact to innocent remarks, misinterpret behavior, and short-circuit your relationships. Even worse, trapped emotions can create depression, anxiety, and other unwanted feelings that you can't seem to shake. They can interfere with proper function of your body's organs and tissues, wreaking havoc with your physical health, causing pain, fatigue, and illness. Yet, no matter how great your suffering may be, the invisible energy of trapped emotions will remain undiagnosed by conventional medicine, even though they may be a major causative factor in your physical and emotional difficulty. So again, this is about battling fatigue, mental laziness, physical laziness, and having high amounts of energy in your life so that you could take control of your destiny and so that you could fully be alert at the market and knowing what it is, just speeding up the process, knowing what it is that you like to trade. Whether you're an intraday trader, swing trader, day trader, scalper, that's all fits based on your personality, all right? Because again, the market reflects back to you who you are. You don't make money from any financial market. You make money from your mind and what you could extract from it. You want to mold the market and bend it to your will. This ain't about probability. It's about knowing. Take what you know. Again, an excerpt from the book, Time Heals All Wounds? Perhaps not. You've probably heard it and said that time heals all wounds, but this is not necessarily true. You may think you have to let go of all the emotional pain from prior relationships, and maybe you've had therapy to deal with it. It may seem like it's all behind you now, but your body can literally be inhabited by the invisible energies of old emotions. There are wounds that time alone cannot and will not heal. They can cause you to act and feel differently in your current relationship and may even cause you to sabotage them. So it will help those trading demons to rise above those emotions. It helps with conserving nerve energy and doing certain practices in your life. It's not about you losing. It's about you bouncing back from that loss, knowing you could get it back. You will get it back. Saying that to yourself. And then trading, you realize no matter how much you know the traps, no matter how well you know the cycle, that you come to this understanding that they're demons, trading demons, and you have to go on a demon killing spree until you get your shit together. Thanks, brother. Thank you. I really put some, tried to have a good, I want y'all to get y'all money's worth, man. Like, I just know how it is when you spend. I really want y'all to get y'all money's worth and life-changing stuff. So again, this helps in every area of your life, So again, becoming the neutral observer while trading. Be the observer and the awareness behind your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. In the act, when you execute a trade or you have a trading rule and plan, let's say that you want to catch it at the low of the day. It already did the shift candle, the move already happened, but you missed it. You want to enter it, but that ain't a part of your trading plan. Right there in that second, in that moment is the most important time for you to observe yourself. You don't observe yourself when you back testing and just with me talking right now, it's in the moment. You have to dissociate yourself from it and stick to your plan, your goals, your rules. You have to do that. And when you want to over leverage, when you made a loss, you have money on the line. You have to really become the neutral observer and dissociate yourself and observe those thoughts. I want you to be like that guy that works in the sewage, right? He goes down there and let's say he goes down and he is there to sanitize it and clean it. But he goes down in a suit, completely covered in a suit. He's around a bunch of shit and a bunch of toxins, but he's not moved by it. He's there to clean it up. He's around it, but it's not affecting him. So just like that, you have these cesspool of thoughts that within you, and you have to dissociate yourself from it, like that guy, and put on that suit, that spark, that spirit within you, and be able to discern, is this the same shit that's holding me back every fucking time? Every time. It's brutal. And you have to get past that. It don't matter how much technical analysis we teach you. You have to conquer yourself. Risk management and a twins trading strategy. A lack of discipline. To be successful in trading Forex, which y'all heard this before, you have to incur many smaller losses while capitalizing on the few gains. Obviously, you want to work to getting up in the 80 to 90%, right? But let's be real. You can get some losing streaks on your verge to finding the setup that you want to make your bitch. So let's be real. There's nothing you can do to stop you from those losing streaks. It's gonna fucking happen. But guess what? You get intuition from the losing streaks. You don't get it from the winning streaks. You get it from the losing. That's what makes you better. You have to step into hell sometimes, actually many times. And you may feel like, damn, like and this is something that Oliver, he's a great guy on trading psychology. I sent him in there. Oliver said this, and I really love how he said it. He said that even though you may feel like you're taking 15 steps back, you take 10 steps ahead, but then now it's like you 15 steps back. Understand that is a process in anything in life. Even when you pull an arrow and you catapult it, to pull the arrow to go forward, it has to pull back first. To jump over a puddle, you have to step back to jump ahead. So when you win, you will have a fucking losing streak, and it will be like pulling back in the arrow to make you better. But make sure, observe why. Always perfect yourself. And do not strategy hop. Pick something and perfect it. If you like it, back test it and make it your bitch. So I am going to show you a Excel trading sheet. This is the sources of, Human Bodies Owners Workshop Manual, Dave Murphy. Food Combined and Made Easy by Herbert Sheldon, hygienist. We have Building Powerful Nerve Force, Colloidal Biology, really heavy stuff there, quantum physics, on biology. The Benefits of Semen Retention, that's the article that I just got it out of. You could watch this video, Structured Water, what it is and how it can improve your health. Science of Breath, that's a PDF for free. Also another PDF, it's the enzyme compilation for health and cancer cures. So that's the sources. Let me show you the trading plan that help me with my trading demons. I use usually a 15 to 25 pip stop loss. I like to have more room. I don't really use 5 pip stop. I just don't do that. I like to have more room. So for example, I created this Excel sheet, and let's say you start off with $800. It automatically calculates it for you, what you expect. This is my risk management account. I risk between 1% to 2% per trade. I would have another account if I want to trade aggressive, but this is like a business to me. So, that's how you have to treat it. You have to know how to manage your money, and you have to be able to trade and live to see another day as well. You could get into 5% daily, whatever. It's up to you. I only showing you to have some plan and a projection of where you see yourself months down the line. So when you win a trade, it was a part of your goal. Okay, well, I'm looking for 3.5% per trade. That's what from my signature trade. All right. So if you have 1,700, you made $60 and you feel good. That was a part of your plan. It ain't like you, oh man, I could have put a 0.3 or 0.5 and make more money. No, you have a plan. So another thing that helps, you notice this is twin trading. How many times if you entered the market, you was up 25 to 30 pips, you adjust your stop loss to break even, and then you basically break even on the trade, or it comes back and stops you out. That happens a lot. So what I did for me, I was having a problem with holding my trades to the take profit. So what I did was, by risking 2%, I split the 2% into 2 contracts. And the first contract was just a 1-to-1, you know? I know you're thinking like the risk reward, I mean, when you get good at it, it don't matter where you put your stop loss, to be honest. But just to show you, I know a guy that he trades like ID 50s off of the market maker method. He does a 25 pip stop loss and a 25 pip take profit. Sometimes he uses a 30 pip stop loss and a 25 pip take profit. And you would think like that risk to reward is shit. But he has a 98% win rate. He stocks 20, 30 standards, gets in and out. So when people tell you, oh, having a 1-to-1, you can't win, there are no rules, man. You create the rules, you know? So mine is more 2-to-1, you know, or 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 3 sometimes. It varies based on where I get the trade. But just to have a trading plan, for example, let's say I have a 25 pip stop loss. My first take profit is just 25 pips. Boom, I get out. So when my first take profit is hit, I then adjust the stop loss for my second contract, and I would let it go to 50 pips, or sometimes I would hold that bitch and just adjust the stop loss where you could bank on 100 pips, sometimes 200 pips. But the first take profit was for you to bag something to secure the bag. So it kind of mixes it together where you, like this day trader, and you could also possibly hold a trade for a couple of days without being scared because you didn't secure the bag, you know? So you see here, by putting in just compound interest, it's 20 trades, right? So let's say I take 1 trade a day. I usually don't. Some days I don't trade because I'm selective, but 20 trades, and I split it into a month, right? So let's say this is 1 month. Look, in 2 months' time, or let's say 40 executed trades, you could be risking 2%, 1 to 2%, right? When your 2 take profits hit, the second one is around 50 pips. Or the next zone, if you see another zone, it could be, you know, $212. But look at how it compounds over time. When you got $12,000, risking very low risk, you make $422 with proper risk management, and that's decent money. Imagine if you just took 2 to 3 setups a week that you knew paid out. You had $12,000 in the account, and you just took that. That's decent money, you know? And this is about keeping you off the plantation. We ain't talking about you being rich. What you worried about being rich for if you can't even be consistent yet? It's about you paying your bills on this shit first, yo. Seeing that, okay, well, I could do this. I could make this into a business. And look at how over time, especially if you work and you let it compound, because that was the issue I was having. I lost my work visa in the US. I'm back in the Bahamas now. And I had to keep withdrawing from my account. And it was stressful, man. Trading when you need money. Oh my God. It's just really stressful. But anyway, so my account didn't get to build, right? But if you especially have something else going on and you just let it build and compound, you will see in 20, 40, 60, 80, you know, even in 100 trades executed right, risking 2%, you have about $1,600. And that's only 1 trade you could take per week. That's decent money, right? So I just want you to develop, and here to the left is just not twin trade, and it's just a 25 pip stop loss with a 50 pip take profit, 5% gain. You get more So you see a future projection and you know where you headed, you know? So it helps you with discipline, having money management, trading rules, finding a signature trade. And it's really, it's so important. I really cannot stress this. You know, if you could have an Excel sheet and just create like, what am I willing to risk? You know, what am I willing to do? And you see on my taskbar, I have my, you define your risk based on whichever pair. Obviously, you know, y'all should know about this position size calculator. You put the size of your account. So if you lose, the contract size gets smaller. When you win, the contract size gets bigger. But you always want to define your risk because this is a business. It's not a hobby, you know, so just to properly manage your risk. Because remember, risk and reward are one and the same. I think in the ancient Chinese traditional language or whatever, they say that it's one and the same. And to properly get comfortable with risk, risk is not something you fear. If you fear risk, it means you're not managing it. We're not gamblers compared to what the world believes. We are managers of risk. And when you manage the risk and manage the losses, the wins come. They come. And if you lose a lot with the proper observation, you could start to truly take control of your trading career, you know, and that's it for my presentation on my class. I really hope that, you know, it helped. And it was, you know, I tried to really kind of give you something that a lot of, you know, that you may not get in this form anywhere else, you know. And if there's any questions, if you guys have any questions, I could ask now, you know, answer now. You know, I could send the PowerPoint. Of course, you will have the recording. You could go over it as much as you want. But in every area of your life, just going back, it starts with knowing how to nurture your mind, body, and soul. And definitely keep an account for if there's certain emotional traumas within you. Always know that you could always rise above. And if there's any problems you have in your life, remember this, the only way out is in. It's internal work. That's what this thing is really all about. That's where the 90% of, that's why over 90% of people just cannot do well in this business. They can't. And a lot of traders, notice when you read about traders, they either into yoga, into some type of meditation, they into more healthful eating, you know. But again, they're just going through this. You could go over it. You could look at the sources. And if you want even more, I have over 35 PDFs that I recommend in reading, but you have to privately message me for that and send me your email. And I could send you all of the books and colloidal biology. You have to buy this book. I heavily recommend you buy it, but I do recommend if you want to message me on good books about life and science and spirituality, but we're talking about metaphysics that you could apply. This is not just a metaphysics as a jack off for the mind or you masturbating the mind to sound intelligent. We're talking about transformation here. We're not talking about you just sounding intelligent in the room. That does nothing. Too much people debate when they don't apply. This is about application, and it could change the life of with your kids, your wife, your husband, your family. They'll see this glow around you, and so much people will start to ask you for, you know, to ask you to take the lead, or will cherish your aura, you know. So again, make sure all of these things bring you to your life purpose. And that's what trading is about, having a purpose in life. Trading to me is spiritual in nature because it reflects self-mastery. And you have to go, as Oliver said so eloquently, you have to go on a demon killing spree to be consistent in this business. The market makers are the ones that spike up those demons in you. They know how human psychology is. In the end of it all, when you learn it, there are no market makers. There's only you. So peace, love, and light. You guys have a good weekend. And, I hope to see you in January, but if not, I hope that you got your money's worth. And I wish you the best in life, So I'm going to stop the recording.